Woo! All right, everyone. We are back on the air with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, chief host of the show, and joining me is none other than my co-host, Avira.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you're all doing safe and sound, and looking forward to a super amazing show tonight.
Oh yeah, and I hope you're doing okay in Ground Zero of
New
the.
York,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad over here.
I know. We've been hearing all sorts of stuff there.
Luckily, candy corn doesn't expire, so should be fine.
Yeah, can't say rip in peace. Alright. So, next on the show is Orion.
Hey,
Good
I'm
to have
gonna
you back once
goof.
again. God, I don't know where you did it, but where do all these funny Chinese virus names come from?
What the kung flu or the
I
the
mean, like
Wu-Tang
the
flu?
Ching Chong Ping Pong something Wuhan.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was good. All right, next on the show, someone we haven't had in a long time. It's Talon.
Yo guys, how's it going? Glad to be back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I know we've missed you for a very long time, but now that you're
Yeah,
back here
well-
with us,
Yeah, you know, life is getting in the way, but thankfully with the quarantine and everything going on here, I have more time to come online again.
I know what's there to do other than to eat, sleep, game, read, work out from home, and
Print your art.
binge on movies.
Have sex.
Chill.
Nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing,
Yeah.
really nothing to do.
What about those small projects you've been putting off for like 2 years?
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Nah. Maybe.
Nah, they're not
have
important.
I honestly have nowhere to buy supplies to finish the projects. The day I got home, I was away when before our quarantine started. I was away. The day we got home, quarantine started the next day. So there was no time to buy anything yet.
Uh,
All right.
Yeah, I mean that's a tragic case, though. I mean, I know I've been stood down from work for for a week, and now I realize the impact of this.
Yeah,
So-
no,
Yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah, I was currently looking for work, and then the job market died
Yeah,
horrifically.
I know. I know that feel. Anyway, last on the panel is Noble.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm not feeling very creative at this point. Not with everything that's going on.
Right? Like there's nothing going on except for Corona-chan kicking the world's butt. Like
Yeah.
seriously, that's all that's happening.
Well, it's amazing how all the,
You know,
all this.
All the good stuff is just crumbling around us.
Right, but at the same time, you spoke to me and said, this is exactly what's needed with the world.
I know. It's glad to see a lot of people have woken up, but on the other hand, you see how stupid everyone is, and you start seeing all the trolls coming out of the woodwork. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
people have been
a
hospitalized.
double-edged sword. Here's the thing: it is a double-edged sword that reveals both the good and the bad in people, and and the people who are who you can count on, and the people and the demons in the world.
People have been going to hospital for drinking isopropyl alcohol and bloody bleach.
Yeah, I saw that. Idiots. You don't drink isopropyl. Oh God, what are they
That's-
doing?
It's something that's always happened on this planet. Is that it's a little thing called natural selection.
Yes, and they won. They won the Darwin Awards.
Yeah, no, that's Darwin Award 101.
Actually, you know what? I hate to bring up an old meme, but somebody's got to go to hospital for eating a Tide Pod in the beer virus.
Maybe.
Oh.
Right? Oh, it'll clean my system. It'll clean me.
The thing is, it's not as funny as the person who mistook like this anti-malarial treatment for fish tank cleaner.
Yeah, I
and then
heard
guess what they tried to do? And then they tried to blame Trump for that. Really? They blamed Trump? How dumb. No, I don't blame Trump. I blame the idiots who ate the fish tank cleaner.
The thing is, though, the way it's set up, it looks like that she may have killed her husband for insurance
It kind of
reasons.
does. Yeah, I saw that. It does look a little sketchy, I gotta say.
Yes,
I
it looks just as
don't know.
sketchy as like the flipping. Oh, what's that tiger show people going on about? Tiger King.
Yeah, Tiger King.
Oh goodness, yeah, we talked about that last week. Yo, that's bonkers. That's a bonkers thing.
I really like that. That guy is a Chad.
The last time I heard about some dude with a tiger, he shot himself while standing on a fence. His body fell into a tiger's pen. He was partially eaten when the police found him. But before he did that, he released a bunch of wild animals into a public area. And I'm like, why would you have so many dangerous animals like that? And then you decide to kill yourself and just release them out into the public where...
I mean, my first question would be, did he release them first and then he killed himself?
Yes, he did. He apparently cut the fences. This was...
Okay, and then
years
my
ago.
second question would be, why would he want to kill himself and be intentionally
Bad joke. The
eaten
circle
by
of life must
tigers?
continue onwards.
Yeah, I just want to point
Shade, I
something
guess.
out here. I just want to point something out here. Nova, it's pretty impossible to kill yourself first, then release the animals. I'm almost certain it's impossible.
Yeah,
Almost.
I think the ghost of you would have done it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he could add a dead man switch, which opens automatic.
Yeah,
fences.
but how many guys do you know that can operate a dead man switch? How many guys do you know that can operate a proper alarm clock?
Oh, that's a good.
Ah.
Yep, that's a good one. I hate my alarm clock. It's digital. It's stupid. I tried to reset it like 20 times. It doesn't work. I threw it out. It's garbage. I hate it.
Yeah, exactly. I use the alarm clock on my phone and I keep it on a set time every day. I can't change it. I can never change it again.
Same.
Because
I don't
know.
I don't do the alarm clock business unless it's on the phone.
I mean, this dude reminds me of what is it, American Guns TV show. They're just a bunch of nut jobs
I mean,
showing off.
Okay, well, Joe Exotic reminds me of like a cartoon character, like you'd see in like Warner Brothers, like someone Bugs Bunny runs into, and he's like the king of the tigers, and he's like some wacky dude. Like, yeah, that's who he reminds me of. The
I
character.
think
in
so.
Warner Brothers.
Joe Exotic is a real life GTA character.
Yeah, I know, right? He's just bonk. I don't even know. I've never actually seen the show. I've just seen clippets of it.
The thing is,
I
though,
know.
the closest comparison I could make with Joe Exotic is probably Oscar Wilde. That's pretty much it.
Maybe. All right, we should probably be getting into the first.
I
story
believe
going on
so.
today.
Though. Before that, though, some nice live comments.
All
Ice
right.
Kid Spoon 777. Long time no see. Snowball is green now because green is not a creative color.
Green is not a
No, that's just the
creative color.
background.
That's not the story.
He's black and white.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll see if I can bring up a proper size of that picture.
But other than that, though, I think it is high time we did get a start on what's on the agenda at the moment.
Yes. Now let's all agree to never be creative again. All right.
Yeah, because we are incapable of, making the new. Yeah. So, the first thing on the plate. I know you've all heard about this, and this one movie that's gonna get the Disney treatment. It's Robin Hood from Disney, created way back from the 1970s, and he's getting the Disney Plus live action treatment.
Well,
So,
we can
how
we can
many-
officially bury another childhood dream.
So what
The
is this,
thing-
like
the-
the fifth one? They had what? The Jungle Book, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast. What else? Did they do Cinderella yet? I think they probably did.
No, I don't think they have. They've done Beauty and... Oh, you said Beauty and the Beast. There.
Oh, well, Fantasia.
Lady and the Tramp.
basically. Oh, wait, they did?
Oh, they did Lady and the Tramp as well.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was
even-
for Disney Plus. If
Oh, Lion
you
King. They
signed
also
up for
did Lion
Disney
King.
Plus,
What am I saying? Yeah, they also
Yeah.
did like so. And now this one. They're running out of ideas.
Yeah, no, they definitely are.
Also,
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys heard
Right.
about Disney's finances, but they just secured like several $1 billion in like bailout loans from Citibank. They're not doing good.
Yeah, Yeah, well, if you consider what happened with Star Wars, is it any wonder why they're not doing good? They
And
have to pump
also,
out these ridiculous they have to hit that nostalgia to try and get viewers in, because if they don't, they're gonna flop.
yeah, but
Star
think about
Wars
the,
left
the
a
Disney
huge
cruise lines, though. Okay, so we have the Disney cruise lines and the Disney theme parks all over the world. That's all shut down now. They're losing so much money, and they can't
Yeah,
even
wasn't
keep
there
the
a Star
film.
Wars theme park as well?
No, that
it was
was Disney World.
yeah, it was part of Disney World. Oh, flip now. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, I think that place also was
Yeah,
a big flop.
the Star Wars park was basically it's bleeding a lot of money at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, Galaxy's
The-
Edge. Well,
the-
it's all shut down now, and they don't
the
even know when they're
problem
gonna.
is though is that Disney try and replicate the nostalgia, but nostalgia is nothing if it has no soul.
exactly.
That's the
So,
problem
Jolt,
with
regarding
these
the
live action remakes. Is that these
Yeah.
live action remakes they have no soul.
right. So, regarding the design for the new Robin King live action, is there any word on that? Like what it might look like? Is it gonna be
No,
like?
we don't have any looks unless the only thing I can compensate for you is to look at like the image search and see cosplays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If-
Or,
if
or
it's
whatever.
anything-
Costumes running around. All right.
Well, if it's anything
Oh,
like
God,
Cats, I
no.
think we're gonna. Oof. Yeah, no, that's Cats. That's the remake of Cats.
To be fair, it's
That's
better than
cursed.
Cats, Christopher.
I mean, this is the first thing you do when when you type into image search Robin Hood Disney live action. This is one of the first results that you're gonna get.
Okay. No. No, thank you.
But no,
if it's
we do not have anything like resembling what the cast is gonna look like. We do not know if they're gonna get the fabled fursuit out, or we do not know if they're gonna bring
Yeah.
CG into the mix.
if it's anything like Cats, I think we can all go and see a perfectly beautiful dumpster fire. We're gonna witness a dumpster fire in the making.
I don't think the fandom's going to be too happy.
Hold on. Disney's doing pretty badly, so we may actually get off, by the skin of our teeth, and they may not actually make it now. Because Disney's going under hard at this point.
They really are. Yeah. Like all their income is done. Plus, like, all the movie theater revenue, like they're not getting that now.
Figures of that's what they get for shitting on Walt Disney's legacy.
I mean,
No,
that
No,
too, but
let's ask ourselves. Name one good Disney movie that came out that wasn't a complete dumpster fire. That
Lion
came
King.
out in the last 5 or 6 years.
Oh.
Disney-
Toy Story 3?
4.
Anyone know?
Was that in
The
the last
Toy-
5 or 6
That
years?
was good.
Yeah,
Story 3
the
was
Toy
good.
Stories
That
were
was
good. As far as everything else, though, no, I haven't
Yeah,
seen. Moana was okay.
Most people didn't even watch it. Most people didn't even know a Toy Story 4 came out. It did well, but it didn't do like the rest of the Toy Stories, you know?
It wasn't as bad as Incredibles 2 though, because most people
Yeah,
just couldn't give a
We don't
shit
talk about
about that one.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
It's just there was nothing incredible about it. It was meh.
Yeah, it was the
Truth.
mediocre. They should have renamed it the Mediocres. There's nothing
Yeah.
incredible about Mr.
But the
Incredible.
thing is, though, that's another thing. Like Disney is like a vampire, like not like the vampire which sucks blood. The vampire which sucks souls. It literally sucked the soul right
Isn't
out
that
of
a
Pixar.
succubus?
That's a
Isn't that a
Dementor.
succubus? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a Dementor.
Disney is a succubus, and they have sucked the soul out of Pixar.
Okay, I think we're getting a little off topic.
I mean, yeah, like you're not wrong.
guess they
this
did,
is
but, like-
this is. I mean, they're trying to suck. They're trying to revive it, but to what results? I don't know. But here's the thing. Here's what we know about the movie so far: is that they've locked the deal in March. To get back to this article, there's going to be a mixture of CGI and live action. So again, we don't know. Are they going to bring the first
So
suit out, or are they going
So it's not live action then.
is like CGI and live action is going to blend it in. Like you remember how they did Lion King? Yeah.
Technically,
Oh.
that wasn't live action because of how heavily the CGI was used.
Okay, fine. Jungle Book. Think about that. they were humans in Jungle Book, but they also had
Yeah.
CGI animals. But so you know what I'm thinking of? Robin Hood comes to mind when a lot of like the older furries are like, yeah, that's what got me into this. Yeah. So do you think that like this new remake of Robin Hood is going to get a new generation of furries, or at least some people in the future who are going to say, yeah, I saw this movie and that's what got me into it?
I seriously doubt it.
I
Which
don't think
has-
this is going to create a next
No.
generation. Look at where the fandom is at right now. It's on the edge of becoming mainstream. It's no longer one of those niche nerd communities.
Yeah, but
Fucking normies.
if you think about next generation furries, you're thinking Zootopia, right? You're
Yeah.
not thinking Jungle Book or Robin Hood.
But the reason I
Beauty
say
and the
that is
Beast.
because Robin Hood was one of those things, like the original, that got a lot of people into it to begin with. Same thing with Lion King.
Like,
the
I mean,
generation
the
before.
early '80s, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Oh,
was
Yeah.
OG.
Yeah. Yeah, and they made a
remember
live
that.
action of that as well.
And I'm sure Zootopia created new furries. Like, of course it did.
Oh.
Come on now.
Did you know about the
Definitely.
live
And then the
action
Beast.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show?
There were plenty. I think
No, no.
I personally thought two.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got a single season of a live action iteration of the
Oh,
show.
the live action. No, I
Yes.
didn't see that.
When is this new? When did
No,
that happen?
this is old. This is very old. This is, I think, like season 6 of Power Rangers old.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like
You know,
I've never-
apparently they were gonna. There's news on the wire that speaking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they're gonna make the epicest crossover ever by joining up with the Power Rangers.
Oh, that's already happened. That's old
Did
news.
it?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, though, that they've
Special.
done a crossover, like, animation of Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Remember when Scooby Doo met Batman and Robin?
Oh yeah, I do.
Remember that nonsense?
Yeah. The funniest
I
thing
do.
is, though, I remember when Scooby Doo met WWE.
Yeah, yeah, that and
Yeah, I also saw
Harley
that.
Davidson.
That was a movie. Yeah, that was a movie.
And there's another one with Harley Davidson.
oh, and,
that I
and,
know.
and Don Knotts. They met Don Knotts and what was
Let's be real. Scooby Doo should have died in the early 2000s. It should
Oh.
have died there.
I don't know.
I'm
man.
These
I'm
new
surprised.
remakes are bad.
I'm
Lost
surprised
its
they haven't.
soul.
Yes, I'm surprised they haven't done like a fucking crossover with like a video game, like Fortnite or Halo or something like that.
Oh,
What,
don't
like-
say
Oh,
that.
why do you think
Have like what,
the,
like a
the Ready
crazy
Player One
Shaggy-
exists?
What, is Shaggy like the boss or a playable character?
They
Oh,
did.
yeah,
They wanted.
I've seen Ready Player One, and do you know one thing which I find funny about the movie is the fact that the villain was EA, pretty much.
Yeah. It was pretty much yeah. That's very true.
When
That's
it comes-
very
This movie that they're looking to produce a live action of, if they go with the same people who worked on Zootopia, it might work.
Good that you bring this up. I don't know who. We'll get you a direction of who's directing the movie because I don't think they're gonna have the Zootopia directors. It says they have hired Carlos Lopez Estrada, director of 2018's Blind Spotting, to create a live action version of Robin Hood, and then Kari Granlund from Lady and the Tramp is writing the script.
Oh God, no! All right, this movie's fucked. Sorry.
I just want, who's directing it?
It says Carly Granlund is going to write the screenplay and the script. Director Carlos Lopez Estrada from Blind Spotting is going to be at the helm.
Fucking who?
Carlos Lopez Estrada.
Yeah, that's a diversity hire. It's fucked.
¿Por qué?
No, seriously, if you want to find out how bad the movie's going to be, just watch Lady and the Tramp remake, the live action one. It is just bad. If you're not trying to gouge your eyeballs out at the end of it, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Wow,
How-
I've never even heard of that.
How bad is the dialogue?
Well, let's just say they took the social justice and put it back in the 1800s.
There we go. There it is.
Oh my god.
Okay.
No, like it's basically what faux Victorian.
Oh goodness.
Oh my goodness! No, there's another childhood memory we're gonna burn. And
Anyone-
I promise you, because of these bad films, people don't want to become furries because they think we're just as crazy as the bloody films.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, though, honestly, that the movie industry needs to have a dieback
You know what? No, I think
for it to get better.
actually no. I think Corona Chan is handling them very, very, very well. You know why? Because
Corona
AMC
Chan.
Cinemas is on the verge of collapsing,
Yeah, the
among
thing
other
is, though,
things. So.
what I think's going to happen is that movies won't be released in like cinema traditionally anymore. I
They'll go
honestly think they're going to.
they'll go the old way of direct to video, or they'll just take subscribe with deal Disney Plus, Amazon, Netflix.
No, but
whatever
like
has-
this is
digital.
a big deal though. Like AMC recently, back in like October, November, they invested a lot of money to build new theaters all over the country. And months later, where we are now, they're all closed and they're losing
It's-
so much money. Like AMC
The-
is going bankrupt.
There's like this sequel to the movie Trolls, and it's purely a digital release, and it's the first thing of its kind.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen now. Because like, what are they gonna do?
The thing is, though, I knew cinema was going to go down this path eventually.
You know what sucks
Because
though? Back in early March, I went to the movie theater. I went to a brand new, newly built AMC movie theater, and you know what they had there? They had heated seats that were recliners. All right, it was a
Oh,
really cool
nice.
place. I
Look,
loved it. I saw
it's-
one movie there in early March, and then next thing
thing
you
is,
know,
though,
Corona-chan stumbles in.
it's like what people need to realize is that the whole movie theater thing. It's a dated format. It's old fashioned,
I
and
don't
it's
care.
just
It's fun.
it's
Yeah, it's true. It's fun. I mean, back before I worked, when I was still at school, I remember going every Sunday. I went to the movie theater with a friend or on my own, but I went there to see the movies on display that day. And sometimes I'd even watch a movie twice or three times during 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So every
Nowadays, those
single
days are
Sunday.
gone. Like, who'd want to watch a movie in the theater twice with this current crop of movies? I mean, I might make
Well,
an
that
exception
too.
for Sonic. I might make an exception for Sonic the Hedgehog, but
I did.
yeah.
Look, with
What-
with the cinema, it could continue going on, but they'd have to have a lot less numbers in there at any one time. That's it.
Yeah. The
Then they're not
last
going to make a lot of
movie
money. They're not going to sell enough tickets.
I saw in cinema was Joker.
I bought the Joker DVD.
Yeah,
I
and the
was
funny
mad.
thing is that the last movie I saw before the Joker was Alien Covenant, and to be honest, Alien Covenant was the best comedy I've ever seen.
Now we've got nothing else new regarding animated movies, so black to that. Except for Sonic.
Yeah,
Well,
Anyway,
the last time I was in cinema was actually for Zootopia.
wow, that's a lot.
I was on a job in Port Elizabeth. I was in Port Elizabeth on a job, and I just went into the mall to buy milk, and I saw Zootopia. I wasn't a furry back then. I didn't even I didn't even know a furry community existed back then. But I went into the cinema and I saw Zootopia. The very day it came out, there was almost no one. No one knew the movie came out yet. It was only after its third day that the movie theater was packed because everyone went to see it after that. I was there the very first day it opened. There was almost no one. But I loved it, and that's more or less how I got into the furry community, looking for Zootopia content.
Oh wait, what? Okay, this is a family channel.
Yeah, but by the way, my first crush I had on like an anthropomorphic character was the character Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, that
Yes,
was
I
good.
love
Like,
Ratchet.
that
He's
was
so
like the
sexy.
PlayStation 2 era could have made a crap ton of furries. They had Sly Cooper, they had Ratchet, they had
Spyro.
What? No, Spyro was PSX.
PlayStation.
I go, but
PlayStation 2.
I go.
Anyway, but still, the point
Yeah.
stands. And we got some good live comments here and there. All right, so was 00 says they made a zombie version of Robin Hood. That might actually be that might actually be better than what the new one's gonna be. I know I don't sound super optimistic, but
The downside is that there's so many iterations of Robin Hood. It's psychotic. It's not owned by Disney. It's basically just out there as a you want to make a movie of Robin Hood if you want.
Yeah, but basically, originally it was about a group of militiamen who rebelled against the Normans because the Normans were dicks.
Yeah, well, most people don't even know where the Robin Hood, I think most
origin
people
comes
don't
from.
know where Robin
You know,
Hood came from,
if-
the original
I
Robin
know.
Hood story.
It could have been worse. At least we're not getting, super woke Robin Hood with humans and race changed people and shit.
Well, how do you race change a fox? Are they gonna make him like some, I don't know, a dark fox?
I don't know. Here's
or-
the thing, because they haven't announced at this point in time, like April 17th, 18th, they haven't announced anybody who's going to be on cast on to play the roles yet. So we don't know yet.
Oh, they could always turn him into a wolf or a coyote or something.
trans species.
Oh,
I had to say that.
He's a fox, but I identify as a Wolverine. No one listens to me.
Badger.
or they can just go for the classic sex switch, the gender bender. That's always a solid.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Well, I mean, Robin is also a woman's name.
Yeah. It's a unisex name, but at the same time, like, here's the thing. It's nothing of that too big of a point to put on, like, just by the name itself, but the casting and all that.
It would just be Robin Hood, comma, she, her.
No. I think they put those in brackets now.
Yeah.
The pronouns they put in brackets now. I think they dropped it.
That's not woke enough. They need to put it in triple parentheses.
Up.
I'm
Okay,
joking.
okay, this has gone too far. This is literally, YouTube is gonna can you for this.
Yeah,
kidding.
I'm reeling back from this.
Yeah.
Oh, just in case, our episodes are also available on Podbean, Stitcher, and Google Play Store. In case YouTube decides to cut us out forever.
Oh, absolutely. So, we're not going to go anywhere. And besides, we have fallback options. So,
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
we
it's
are
like,
not going to die no matter what happens.
the thing is though, they won't do anything. Like, if it's typed, that's when they have a problem.
Whatever.
Hey,
the
on
worst
the
comment.
plus side, Roz says, I guess that probably would be better Robin Hood being a wolf than a zombie.
Well,
Zombie Robin Hood? That sounds fucking retarded.
I don't know.
I would
It's like-
mind Robin Hood as a woman as long as she's got curves.
Wolf, not woman.
No,
Oh,
no.
wolf.
I mean, like, Robin Hood being a fox, like, makes sense, because foxes are, like, quick and sly and they're clever, so that kind of makes sense. Like, a thief would, give to the poor. Like, I get it. I can see that being a fox. Like, a wolf?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know about being a wolf.
Yeah.
No, but one of the main villains was a wolf. You can't really make a wolf. They were
What-
portrayed as the hunters, as the bad guys, the strong bad guys.
yeah.
Was it the
No.
tax collector or the sheriff? The sheriff was a wolf, wasn't he?
Well, no. Well,
Yes.
think about the fox
Yeah, it's
and
like
the hound.
in-
The hound was the hunter, basically.
Yeah, in Robin Hood, the wolves were the Normans.
Yeah, they were portrayed as the strong as the hunters who hunted hunted Robin. But if Robin is turned into a wolf, that would defeat the purpose of the what do you call it, the analogy.
You could pull it off with a good storyline, but that's a bit difficult these days.
It's Robin
don't know.
Hood.
Like,
It's
I don't
Robin
know if
Hood.
they can
It's not as-
like, here's the thing. Remember, they're getting a new screenwriter and, a script writer and so forth. So, I'm not sure if how much respect they're gonna pay to the source material. They will.
Yes,
That's
like,
the
a sheriff was appointed by the Normans as like a official, like a sitting official, and so they were the ones which collected the taxes from like the local population.
Most important elephant in the room that we must address: Maid Marian.
Oof.
Hmm.
I don't even want to think about this. I really don't. I don't want to think what they're gonna do to her.
That's why I said elephant in the room.
No, the
Right.
I love how quiet
Well,
it all is.
I have no comments on the matter.
They're probably going to make her into a trap or something.
No, but
I wouldn't
anyway,
mind
yeah,
that.
just
Disney
please,
is.
no. Trust Disney to actually do something.
Listen, I think we should take this time to beg Disney, please, don't destroy her. Don't take her away from us.
No,
Just
no.
say, please stop. Please
We should
stop,
ask Disney to go back to the days when they were using giant sheets of glass and they painted them individually and moved them to create animation.
No.
Yes.
Actually,
Back in the
I
day.
think this is actually gonna make me wonder too. Like, I'm gonna make another bad joke. Maid Marian was basically Crystal before she existed.
Oh,
Oh.
oh, oh, spicy.
I'm more into Star Fox myself.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that pretty much wraps that up though. Just to
Crystal is
recap
my guy.
everything. Yes, I know
Yes,
Disney is planning to remake the classic Robin Hood with Fox and all that from the late 70s, the live action treatment. We're not fully optimistic about how it'll turn out because details are scarce at the moment. But it's been announced, a deal has been locked in, and they're going ahead with it. So we shall only see how that pans out.
interesting factoid. Historically, a sheriff was a legal official with responsibility for a shire. The term was a contraction of shire reeve, which is Old English for somebody who was an official of a shire.
Interesting. Also, last comment. Tooney says, my friends once told me live action Disney is going to turn future furries into having a realistic suit rather than Tooney suits.
That is a very good idea.
Don't go there. Don't
Very
go
debatable.
there.
Yeah, no, I never thought about it that way. Yeah.
Don't go
It's-
there. We already have people dressing as humans, dressing as humans. Human suits. Let's not go there, please.
Are you
I'm
about
already
the anime? Are you about those anime suits which look uncanny
Yes.
valley?
Yes. Let's not
honestly-
go there. That is nightmare fuel.
Yeah, honestly,
your
those
worst- Joel, maybe you should show. Maybe you should show this here. I'll send you one, and you can show it here, just so you can, just so people can understand what we're talking about. I'll try find one that's as safe as possible.
All right.
I mean, not sure if I can show the images too well whatsoever, but
Joel, the image I posted in your
okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yes, a more realistic, detailed fox with with highly detailed fur patterns and 3D imagery. Sorry, I'm trying to paint a picture with words because we've got to cater to the audio version too. But
oh yeah, that's true.
I get the point. I get your point. Like,
No, there's a series of avatars in Second Life where they look really. They've got a realistic look to them, and not this horrible sort of look where you just want to burn your eyes out.
I get you. The whole artistic design, again, it's highly debatable. I think now they're taking a more realistic bent rather than a cartoony, but yeah. That is that. So it's a story for another day. So, what's next on the plan? Let's see.
Well,
China has done another oopsie. I wouldn't say that, but rather, they have chosen to ban online gaming.
Woo,
And,
no
but
hackers.
before that, though, it all started when Animal
started with
Crossing
Animal
New
Crossing.
Horizons came out.
all right. It says, report. China bans Animal Crossing New Horizons after users began supporting Hong Kong protesters. So people are
Correct.
using online gaming to organize protests.
I know they can't. I know it's a shame that we can't physically organize because of the Kung Flu, but again, as it stands, we've got imagery that says now Hong Kongers are using it to say "Free Hong Kong," revolution now, and imagery that's pro Hong Kong and anti this Chinese Communist Party.
Wow. This is
And-
really crazy.
Yeah,
Okay,
of all the games
okay. Let's be real. Let's be real. What everyone expected this to happen. Everyone, well, not everyone expected it to happen, but no one is fucking surprised. No one, because we know
Well,
this shit happens
China.
every single day.
No,
It's
just
China.
China is
No
an
one
evil
is
country.
fucking surprised.
No, China.
No,
The
they're-
Communist
they're-
Party of China is evil, and of course they're gonna.
Of course,
ban
they
things like
harvest
this because
organs
people
from
want to organize.
concentration camps. I mean, they harvest organs from concentration camps. It's everything in the book of absolutely worst shit to do in a country. The Chinese have already done it and rewritten the book while they're at it. They just took that book, did everything in it, and then rewrote it while they're at it.
And they also gave us the gift of Corona-chan, so that's good.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, though, I honestly think that the coronavirus was a bioweapon.
Yeah, that it's
Well,
now been
it
saying
was.
on making the rounds. There's so much
That
skepticism,
is
and now that everyone's catching on.
The thing is, though, I don't think they intended it to be used purposely, because I know that countries do develop biological weapons and never
Oh yeah,
use them.
it's China, of course they do. But
Like
more to the lines
the
of-
US does this, Britain does this, Russia does this. The thing is, what I think was is that they were probably doing some research into these viruses. They probably used bats as like a test subject, and these test subjects obviously escaped.
Well, that's what they're claiming. But
Well, if
right
you-
now, the entire world is under quarantine, and the only thing people have as a solace is either alcohol or video games. And now
well, we don't have
China
that yet.
Took away the video games. No
No,
one.
I
we
mean,
don't
in the
have
case of
alcohol.
Hong Kong, it's video games at the moment because as the way of getting the message across.
If you've watched any of the like zombie apocalypse movies or ones where viruses broke out, one occasion is that a technician or an employee gets accidentally infected and they don't know about it.
Well, there are reports about this. There are definitely reports about this.
I mean, have you ever seen the Last Ship TV show?
No, I saw actual medical reports from China about a researcher at the Wuhan Lab of Virology in Wuhan who was infected and bitten by and was pissed on by a bat. He quarantined himself, but he broke quarantine, and then he was patient zero. That's a thing, unfortunately, that happened. And yeah, China tried to cover it up, and they're evil, and communism is bad, and all that. Rah.
In the
How about-
Last Ship, the patient zero was immune. However, he always had the virus. He gave it to his.
No, like he actually worked at the lab.
Oh no, I'm just talking about the actual show. It's the Last Ship.
Oh, the last ship. Okay.
So this guy developed the virus. He accidentally infected himself. Turns out that he was patient zero, but while he could distribute the virus, he never actually got sick. He gave it to his girlfriend, who jumped on a plane, and then that's how, in the show, the world basically killed off like 90% of the human population. Whereas with this, with what you're saying, it sounds like he may have spread it to people while he was out and about, and it just burnt, and now it's just basically burning through the population.
Yeah, it's really, really, really bad. If you know like the chemistry behind it, it's pretty quite scary. But I'm not gonna get into it right now.
Yeah.
That'll take a long time. But
I know.
dude, it's
It
crazy.
will.
Like really like research the biology of this. It's really fascinating.
It is,
Yeah,
but just
but
pro tip though, try not to go to Zero Hedge or people will hound on to you because Zero Hedge is telling the truth about this.
yeah, it's like
Actually-
biology has always been an interesting subject.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that was the thing I didn't comment. Please go to Zero Hedge because Twitter doesn't like them.
Oh,
Right
who
on.
does Twitter like that doesn't have a blue check mark?
So, guys, I have a question. What would you do if the United States government right now banned online video games? What would you do?
I would not give a damn because my servers are in Australia. Jolt, make sure they don't ban online gaming.
I don't think we're at that level of risk down here in
But
my
the
neck of the
thing is, though, I'm not joking. No, in Australia they'll probably ban anime.
They tried. They only proposed a bill to something, and it was cringy boomer stuff. But
Yeah, it really was though. They didn't even know
Yeah.
what the difference was. It was so funny.
right
Oh, well,
now,
technically, anime is still banned here. Technically, anime is still banned here because
right.
it's cartoons with adult themes, and that's not technically allowed yet. But we still have our well-driven anime shops. A lot less than we used to have, but we still have a few left.
No.
But
Why
anime
did
scene
they
is going down here.
why did they decide to ban adult themed cartoons?
This goes back all the way to the apartheid years. You see, back in the apartheid years, everything was church and state. The church and the state was the same thing, basically. And so watching anime or watching adult themed cartoons or watching pornography or something like that was
Was
considered an
heresy.
immoral sin. Yeah, it was considered an immoral sin, and you could get jail time for that, for indecency or something like that. That's why they banned it, and they never changed the laws on that. It's
No,
basically an outdated law.
When did apartheid end? Was it 1991?
1994.
1994. Okay.
So basically, under apartheid, South Africa was run a bit like an Islamic state then.
No, it was more like the Nazi Germany, but without the Nazi part. We had a lot of similar ideas of how to run the country, except for the whole socialism. We were pretty anti-social.
Ah, so it was clerical fascism then.
Pretty much something like that. I don't know what you would call it, but either way, it was a democracy. Everyone still voted. Everyone still, but we had a lot of strict laws, and those laws were dictated by what the church said. You couldn't be a politician if you didn't belong to the right church. That's
So
literally that was literally a thing. It's like
it was
it's
like
like Britain and its queens with its monarchy. You can't be king or queen if you don't belong to a certain church. That's what's the same with politics here. You can't belong to a political party if you don't belong to a certain church.
so it was actually a theocratic regime then.
I don't know what you would call it. I don't know.
Yeah.
We could call it
Yeah,
a big fuck.
It sounds like a theocracy.
Semi, like again,
It's a semi theocracy. Like honestly, the politics of South Africa has always been a bit weird to like everyone outside of it.
I mean, we were a war state. We were a war state. We were one of the top, one of the superpowers of the world. We had nuclear weapons.
Yes.
We had submarines. We had everything. And with that came, and we were as kids. The grown-ups were led as a what do you call it? Militaristic style. The children learned how to shoot guns at the age of 10 or something like that. But we were taught that our nation was the only thing that mattered, and we were at war at that time as well, the Angolan War.
Yeah, the
So
thing
yeah,
is, though,
we were pretty militaristic. Let's put it like that. We were militaristic.
and
At
that
that time
kind of just
period-
calls it for
yes, like in that time period, there was a lot of nations in Africa which were quite militaristic. Like, for example, I was talking to somebody about like Eritrea, and that was quite militaristic.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the politics of Africa, honestly. I know I live here,
Guys.
but I really don't keep it. Yeah.
I don't know how we got from something from banning online video games to this. But to answer your question,
Just reel it back in.
but to answer your question, what would you do if hypothetically my government banned online gaming? I'm
Yeah.
not going to lose any. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
I'm pretty
No,
sure South Africa would go to war. Well, a part of South Africa would go to war against Australia because we rely on your servers. New Zealand servers and Australian servers. We don't have our own servers.
Yeah, because proximity and distance. Otherwise, you'd have to try your luck with the European servers.
And we don't want a British near us.
Yeah, but like imagine like no more Steam, no more Roblox, no more Fortnite, like playing like no more Call of Duty,
Well,
like online.
The thing-
Like, imagine that being banned though. Like that's
This-
kind of bonkers, right? Like that's out
Have
there.
you, the thing is, in Australia, somewhat with the US, the companies behind those would get a stick up their ass. What I could see more likely is that people are told not to play games online to free up bandwidth for everything else, or at least for important services.
No, but China's
Netflix,
doing this because of political reasons. That's why China's doing it.
Oh,
Right, but in the case of China, here's the thing
It's
about
called the Great Firewall, I think.
right. But here's the thing: in the case of Animal Crossing, to get back on track, is that they actually ban Animal Crossing under these, two criterias. The game has content or user-generated content that is deemed to be too offensive or violent, etc. And number two is that the game has become very popular and caught the attention of regulators. Like, for example, Grand Theft Auto 5 has, fits both.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing, does it tick both boxes? Apparently it does.
What?
Apparently, it offended the Chinese equivalent of a Karen.
It does.
Yeah,
Here's the
let's
thing.
be honest. This is the same. They banned this for the same reason they banned Winnie the Pooh, because
Right. Here's the thing.
someone made fun of the leader, of the supreme leader.
It says,
Mhm.
Chinese law states, video games or other media cannot contain anything that, quote unquote, threatens China's national unity, sovereignty, or territorial integrity. They cannot harm the nation's reputation, security, or interest, and cannot promote superstitions. Games
What?
cannot, yeah.
Wow, that is very Orwellian
No, it
newspeak
says-
there.
And also, it says they
Games-
can't include anything that harms public ethics or China's culture and traditions.
So they incite obscenity,
I don't
drugs,
think they
violence,
need-
or gambling. All of those are bad. According to
Well, let's be honest. They don't need any. Don't need games to help them harm their culture and everything. They're doing a pretty good job at destroying their country on their own. Honestly,
They're scared
They're
of the
doing a
online
pretty-
protesters.
Yeah, the thing is, so it's like what people don't realize is that
I don't
the
know.
culture we see in China now isn't actually real Chinese culture. Because what happened is that
No, it's a
Mao pretty
dictatorship.
much,
Yeah.
Mao Zedong eliminated the majority of Chinese culture in the Cultural Revolution.
He did.
Because like China at one point was very culturally diverse, and then Mao Zedong came out and like pretty much wiped out all of the other competitive cultures to Han culture, which is the dominant culture. So the Chinese culture we see now isn't proper Chinese culture.
let's think about it. How do you go from the people who invented paper, invented gunpowder, and then ban video games? How do you make that leap? How do you make that leap? It doesn't make sense.
No, like
Going
look
for
at them.
people
Like
who
you
created-
remember, they're trying to follow their own. They want to hold themselves to their own standards and so forth, and their own laws. And yeah, it's a total mess. I tell you that.
We have a term for that. We call it reinventing the wheel. Something that's already good, that already is perfect, that everyone can use, and someone tries to reinvent it.
It's friggin' look.
What?
What are you doing?
Who's doing what?
Sounds like you're strangling a budgie.
No, that's not
Or you're
me. I
trying too
promise.
hard at China's and at sniffing and smoke.
No,
No, that's not me.
I was just cleaning my keyboard with my air duster
Why? Why are you doing that now?
but because my keyboard's a bit dusty.
Well,
You
duh.
sure had nothing to do with that
Alright.
spill.
Okay,
Jesus
fine.
Christ,
but-
you
but-
people!
But I didn't expect the duster to
You people disgrace me.
Hey, use
Shame.
isopropyl alcohol wipes. They do a much better job.
Okay.
Yeah, I should probably get that for my screen.
In my store, all the alcohol wipes are sold out.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
they're good to get.
Yeah, alcohol is banned here. We can't even get alcohol here.
Wait, like drinking
No.
alcohol or rubbing alcohol?
Drinking alcohol and rubbing alcohol, it's all banned.
All of it.
Why?
Wow.
All of it. Because alcohol is considered a non-essential. Cigarettes, e-cigs, vape fluid, everything is banned.
Wow.
They
Almighty,
fine
what have
people now. They fine and
What have
put
you
people in
done?
jail now for having it.
Wait, so you're you're in South Africa. What?
Yes.
Where? Like Cape Town, Johannesburg.
No. I'm way up north. I'm way up north.
So,
Oh, okay.
so,
Oh,
so
so
it
it's
went
like a
from
federal thing
tyrannical
against the entire
dictatorship
country.
to another
Yeah, but this is
tyrannical
for the entire
dictatorship.
country. This is a nationwide lockdown. This is everywhere. The
Wow.
entire country is lockdown. Yeah. Okay, but where were we? We were busy at mocking China, I think.
Yeah, China sucks.
Yeah, and we still do mock them. Like, here's another live comment for you. Ross says China's at the point where they just steal everyone's technology. They're not building much of their own that's any good, just a bunch of cheap knockoffs. That's true. They've done all that stuff from silicon
Yeah.
to cars, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
they're a bit like Cylons from Battlestar Galactica.
Right.
They only
And
replicate.
and then you wonder why their economic growth has stagnated to begin with.
There was a computer capacitor plague back several years ago now. Turns out someone from someone from Japan defected. I think it was to either South Korea or China. Can't remember which. And they took it was a modified recipe. So people around the world would buy computers, and after a couple of years, they'd just stop working, or they'd start acting up.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what Apple's
yeah.
doing now.
You count on
basically what
China to
Apple's
make
doing.
things that are reliable. You remember,
Yeah, it's
like
called planned
case in
obsolescence.
point, coronavirus testing kits.
Oh God!
Oh yeah, that was a disaster.
No wonder you guys had to send them back. But yeah, look at that though. So that's pretty much let's just wrap this
Yeah, but
thing up because we've
even the
gone so
military
far.
scene.
We have
even
gone
the
so
military
far
scene.
off the track in this one. Like it's not
Way
not
off.
gonna lie.
Well,
Like,
there's a
yeah.
lot of material to cover, so there's a lot of ways to make fun of China.
There is, and let's not forget too. Like they're banned on Animal Crossing New Horizons, and they're banned on online gaming and so forth. It's also
Yeah,
it's also a real stretch. Like let's not forget they also said they were gonna ban like ghosts and map making.
Yeah,
And,
and
interacting
skeletons
with foreigners.
and anything superstitions. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, they also,
and the interesting thing is that any display of homosexuality in movies is banned.
Yep,
no
that's
wonder
true.
they couldn't
China,
get
yeah.
the whole the new Disney movie Onward, which I know Disney's chasing the sweet China dollars, but yeah.
But they're also
Anyway.
chasing the woke dollars, so they can't win either way.
Anyway, on the plus side though, I know gamers will rejoice at the fact that China can't communicate with foreigners in online gaming now, because the
that's
government
beautiful.
put a ban. So now
So
there's going to be
that's-
less Chinese cheaters.
Yeah, no hackers
Yeah,
anymore.
good
That's good.
actually.
Oh, but you know what?
You're right.
This is something important. We should now consider what's going to happen to the mobile gaming industry because they were only Chinese. Anyone who's played an MMO on mobile knows about Chinese players on the servers. The servers are going to be
Yeah.
dead. They're
I
going to be
remember
dead.
that. 2
The
years
Play
ago,
Store
I
and
was
the
in
Apple
this-
Store.
No, I know exactly. Like 2 years ago, I was in this guild. I was playing like this Dragon Book game. We can like conquer islands and stuff. And every single one of my rivals had like Chinese characters in their names, and they like, oh my god, they were such. Oh.
Yeah,
They
and
were
the
doing
thing
some
is, they
sneaky
play on the
stuff.
European servers. They play on the European servers and the American servers because the Chinese servers are so full of hackers.
They're
So now,
crazy.
so now that everything is banned, I mean, we get no more. We don't get any more hackers, but at the same time, the online gaming scene is gonna crash badly.
I hope not.
Well, look, the bonus to this is that if the Chinese aren't being able to buy games and play them, then the gaming industry isn't going to be affected by them.
China's
It's all-
just another market.
No, I'm talking specifically about online gaming because remember, China is a huge part of the online gaming scene, a huge part of it. So the online
Right.
gaming scene is definitely going to crash.
I don't think it's that. It's going to be as simple as you paint it for. But no, it's not going to crash. It's just another piece of the market that that they're missing out on. But it's not such a big deal as you make it out to be. So me personally, not worried. But yeah, that's just one thing of it. So here's the thing. Here's the last item and the namesake, because I know we just cannot discuss it without the namesake item of the show. Kudos to Talon for coming up with this title. Just want to say that before I start on it. But yeah, here it is. Universities are now offering credit for people to learn to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Mickey Mouse courses in
So-
universities.
No.
A university is offering credit for learning how to play Dungeons and Dragons. All right, so a new course at Vermont College, blah blah blah. The professor behind the project touts the social benefits of learning the game. The social benefits, eh? Okay, well, Castleton University in Vermont is offering college credit to students for learning how to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Now he says, like, there is strong evidence of the benefits of having healthy recreation opportunities. It's something that isn't built into our society. Making time for hobbies can help reduce stress, improve health and performance in other areas such as family, work, and school.
I don't disagree. Kind of
Yeah.
makes sense, right?
Okay,
But the thing is, though, I
This-
don't
this
get why it
reminds me
needs to
of,
be a study.
what game was it that I think it's South Korea or something that hires people to play online video games. Which one was that? I think it's South Korea.
Probably has to be South Korea because they have a burgeoningly huge esports scene, among other things.
Yeah, they hire people to play online specifically to farm things and build up the economy, basically to sell it or something. I don't know, but either way, yeah, there is actually social impact on this because people can make a living out of this. Wasn't it the people in fuck? I'm so terrible with names tonight. You have to excuse me.
Right.
The place that the communist place that went tits up in South America, that the players are now
Venezuela.
farming online gaming to make money.
Right,
That's
right.
Venezuela.
Yeah, because their lives literally
Venezuela,
depended on it. Not like in this one. Like, I know. It's an apples to oranges comparison.
Oh, yeah,
But here's
they
the
were
thing.
using World of Warcraft currency.
They
Yeah,
did the
that-
same thing with RuneScape as well.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing:
But-
it's apples
yeah.
to oranges when you put in the light of like American colleges teaching Dungeons and Dragons, because yeah, sure, you
Yeah,
get to
I
learn
mean,
like all
most-
these soft social skills, so on and so on. But here's the kicker:
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But eventually, someone was going to figure out how to make money out of it, obviously.
Yeah.
And I honestly think this is a way for colleges to make more money.
right? Like,
I mean,
it's
why
not-
Dungeons
yeah.
and Dragons? Why Dungeons and Dragons? That's the question. Why Dungeons and Dragons? Okay, everyone knows what Dungeons and Dragons is, but how many people actually play it?
Well, because Dungeons and Dragons is a very social game. You know,
It's
it was-
very
It
niche.
was like one of the first, really.
Okay.
That's one of the-
It's quite niche, though.
From what I understand, Dungeons and Dragons promotes creativity, so it forces a person to have to think about how they'd go about, well, how they'd go about getting out of a situation, where they'd want to go, what they would do in that situation. It just helps actually get the brain ticking. And to be honest with you, creativity seems to be something that a lot of people are failing at nowadays. I mean, look at Disney.
Yeah, okay, perfect
Yeah,
case
that's
in
true.
point. Look at that. They're rehashing,
True.
old stuff and so on.
Yeah,
Here's the
but
thing.
then
Here's what Dungeons and Dragons is advertising. Like, so says the Professor Engel. They promotes critical thinking and problem-solving skills that are transferable to students' future academic work and their lives outside of the classroom. Learning to identify different ways to approach a problem is valuable for students who wish to enter the workforce or continue their studies in graduate school. What? So, like, so it's basically solving all these riddles, which so and so.
No, I
Well-
agree. In fact, I would say that like even Tetris kind of has some good mathematics skills and reflexes and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
the
Like
thing
video
is,
games do
though,
help with reflexes for sure.
one thing I don't get is the fact that, to be honest, to learn all this, you don't even need to go to university.
No, like your local,
That's true,
games
you-
workshop or whatsoever have you can gladly.
I
teach you
mean,
the ropes.
people, if you want to play Dungeons and Dragons and you don't have a workshop, play Dungeons and Dragons online. It exists.
Well, that's if you want to play it online, but I do know of some schools that were teaching people business. They were using World of Warcraft. If I can't
Wow,
remember
really?
colleges or high schools, just for team building skills.
The thing is, though, I could see a topic like economics using the game EVE Online as an example.
You know what's really cool about the game Plague Inc? They actually use real-world data gathered from SARS and MERS. Like, it's actually based on how the CDC and like how world governments actually respond to pandemics. That's why Madagascar is so hard to get to, because in real life they only have one airport, and so like it's in real world, like they're tracking air flights and ships and seaports and seeing how fast people it would take to actually develop a vaccine. So like it's all based on actual research, and the game itself. I'm sure that the CIA is watching the game Plague Inc. and watching other people play it out, and they're testing scenarios, right? Like, doesn't that make sense? It's like that they would do that as like an experiment.
Yeah, that's
like
a bit
to
more
move
of a
it, move
conspiracy
it.
theory, but yeah, it's possible. I mean, it's not the first time that armies have used video games to train soldiers or run simulations, and it's pretty
Second Life.
standard protocol now.
Exactly.
They watch online games. I mean, they watch squad-based online games. Here in South Africa, we had a group here that dedicated watching online people playing online on YouTube squad-based games to learn tactics and stuff like that, to see if there was any
I mean,
tactics that were devised by them.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
the
why
funny
do you
thing
think
is,
yeah?
I just find it funny that South Africa had its own version of the flipping Ghostbusters at one point.
Yeah, yeah, okay, but that's not on the topic right now. We'll do it. We'll talk about
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
I get.
Yeah,
Okay, just to
but that one was
continue
quite funny, to be honest.
to continue where
Anyways,
we did
it's
leave off
keep it
from.
up.
But yeah, there's been the reaction to this has definitely been mixed to it though. Like some people said that
Okay, let's be fair. All right, if I was in a college and Dungeons and Dragons was offered as a course, all right, there'd be two stipulations that I would take before I actually joined it. One, it was an after school studies project, and two, no, actually just one. Let's just go with one. It had to be an after school studies project, because when I'm at school, I'm there to actually study something.
Well,
right.
I
technically, you're
wouldn't do it as a
learning.
main course. I
Would
I wouldn't do it as a main course.
Well, of course not. But would you say that? Would you say the same sort of thing with chess?
Actually, yes, I would say the same thing about chess, because I actually was in the chess club back in my high school days, and that was strictly an after-school project. I did get marks on it. It did count towards my end year result, but it was an after-school project from 2:30 afternoon to 5 o'clock the afternoon.
Joel, does the article state any plans how to deploy this D&D?
No, this was just a proposal.
Thing is, though, I doubt this proposal is going to go through.
The thing is, how do you even grade Dungeons and Dragons? How do you even grade it?
That's a good question. Like, does it basically be graded on on dungeon completion? How many how many 20s you roll?
Yeah, right. Like how much gold do you have? What's your level at? I guess that's how you get a better grade. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, well, or we can just go by the spirit of the dice and just roll a dice, and that's your grade.
Yeah, I mean, you roll a 1, you get an instant critical fail.
Yeah.
You're booted from the course.
But you roll a 2, you get a scholarship.
No, you roll a 21 and you get a scholarship or something.
Yeah.
20. But yeah, here's the thing though. Like, I mean, on that same article, they've also been saying, if we do that, follow the same logic, you might as well start offering FIFA or Counter-Strike Go courses.
Oh God! Well,
Yeah, well-
esports is actually becoming a thing nowadays.
Well, it's becoming a
Right.
legitimate business.
It
That's the
is
thing,
becoming a
it's becoming
legitimate career path, yeah, and so forth. There's an industry behind it now. Gaming's
Yeah,
gone
I mean,
mainstream.
you don't even have to actually be in the top, let's say, 100 players to make a profit out of this. I mean, you get CS:GO trainers, people who actually teach you how to play the game.
Right.
You can make money that way. It's,
No.
it's a viable way of making money now.
It is, but
That is one way of looking at it, but apparently esports is looking at making its way into the Olympics.
I mean, I know the Olympics have said something about it. They've, something along the lines of put games they want to okay and what games are not. But let's look at this from an academic/educational perspective, like that guy was doing. Like, does it have a good prospect as as a legit, as a couple of courses in a degree, like you said, World of Warcraft for business and economics, and so forth.
Okay, Dungeons and Dragons to me is more a fantasy game. It has good social skills, right? It has social skills that I'll give it, but it doesn't really have economy. It doesn't really have politics. It doesn't really have
Sure, it
medical
does.
or
Right,
sociology.
but here's the thing: we're not getting people to read the law, for example. We're getting people to get in there, play, and
Yeah, but I
understand
mean
what.
that's the thing about a game. You're not gonna learn politics or something by going through a dungeon. Understand? That's in World of Warcraft. You have an economy, and that helps to teach you about the economy, the market values, and everything.
The thing is, so when
In
it
that,
comes to economy and politics, I would say like a game like Stellaris or Even Line are probably better options.
For
yeah, something
educational
like that.
purposes, perhaps.
Like for example, with Eve Online, they have actual economists running the economy.
Huh.
Wow, I did not know that.
That is actually interesting. Yeah.
There is merit to what he's saying. All right, there is merit, but I think we don't have we don't have enough data, and two, we're a bit too far off to implement this as an actual course in a school to be effective at teaching students something of value in life. I think we have a bit more research to do. That's my personal opinion on the matter. It's a fascinating idea. I'll give them that. It's fascinating. 10
Right.
out of 10 for creativity on this one. But I don't think we have the data to
Nah,
make it an
I
effective
mean,
course.
it's best suited like as a PhD project or a thesis rather than a full blown course. But yeah, but at this point in time, I don't see myself teaching students World of Warcraft or anything to study practical business skills like EVE Online to learn about economics. So, I mean, think of it what you will, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's different models to follow, and but still,
All
just
right.
not at that stage.
Do we have any live comments? Any fun questions or statements or whatnot?
Not at the moment though. Like literally, like I know you got people saying, do I get paid for playing Dungeons and Dragons? Yeah, if you follow the Dingo path, sure.
I wish.
I know, right?
I
Like,
would-
it'd be a dream, but hey, one of these days, tabletop, competitive tabletop gaming will be
yeah,
a
that is actually a thing. I mean, look at the World of Warcraft's of Warhammer scene. That's a
I know trading card game. There's competitive trading card game scene, like with the physical cards and so on. But we're
yeah,
board
but I
gaming
mean
tabletops.
tabletop games, specifically tabletop games with action figures. Warhammer 40k is a huge scene. It's a huge thing going on.
The other
There's
thing is,
entire battles spanning houses. That's the thing. There's battles in the game that spans literally the size of a house.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy things like that.
Apocalypse. Yeah, that's the game mode with like the large battles. It's called Apocalypse.
I'm not sure. I'm not in that scene,
I
but
know.
I know it exists.
Like I said, I'd have to look and see if there's no tournaments that offer prize money for people, like you said, to compete in these tabletop games. But again, yeah,
Yeah, no, there definitely is. There definitely is. That much I know. There's actually YouTube channels that specifically dedicated to these tournaments and
cool.
the games behind it and the practice matches behind it.
Cool. Very great to hear. But yeah, I'd like to know what you think. Though, is the prospect of adding like Dungeons and Dragons to a university's course or curriculum a good idea? It's just a prospect in the works, but no, the implementation, yeah, not sure how we're gonna do it.
And
Then again, I think the thing to take away from this is that if they're gonna do this, you're gonna live your life on a D20, one D20 at a time.
Look, introducing gaming sort of thing to a university, I could see that being beneficial to
Right.
people long term. But I would like to also see like chess sort of brought in, a couple of card games, non-gambling card games.
I
Stuff
would
like
say no. I would say no to that. I do not
The
want.
thing is,
D&D
though,
to pay for in college. No, but here's the thing. Like, you know why though? You can play Dungeons and Dragons on your own time, and you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to go to college to get paid for it there, to get some grant for what? Some credits in reflexes? Like, I don't think so.
Right.
No, I'd rather not have gaming be a thing that I can do in college, because I can just do that by myself.
what
I'd
about
rather
teaching
learn
strategy?
new things that I can't do.
What about teaching you strategy in a non-business environment?
Yeah, I
Right,
could just
here's the
learn
thing.
strategy by playing the game.
I have
I-
a personal anecdote to share. Is that in one of the courses I did during university days, called engineering, economics, and finance, they had all of our students play this online business simulator called GlowBus on a web browser that we get a code. You can either buy access to it or get a code from a textbook. But essentially, it's we do this once a week or so, and we were and it was in a way a competitive sort of game. And
No,
they
yeah,
made a
but
big
like
deal out of it.
that makes total sense, because like that's
Yeah.
a
I'll show you.
programming game like designed for the class to learn things. But Dungeons and Dragons is kind of like its own kind of thing. It was
Yeah,
not meant to be academically used.
I can see these games being useful as a method of teaching certain things, but
Oh yeah, I get
not.
that.
I-
I
I'm
would
not
use like
sh-
I wouldn't use existing games though. I would use like new games
know.
designed for that. You know.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about these things being like individual courses. That's what I'm
No,
trying to say.
I would not stoop to the level of taking a Dungeons and Dragons course in college. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna.
I
do
think,
It's-
but in my case, a competitive business simulator that you run off your browser and so forth.
Yeah, that's an effective tool for teaching.
It's like reading the Art of War.
Right.
Surprising, I've never read that.
But
It's
I've
good.
never read
It's free.
yeah. But I think what the book you need right now isn't so much Art of War. Sure, it's still great, but fourth generation warfare is where we're at.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The funny thing is, though, has anyone heard about like the fourth generation of nuclear weapons?
What, like antimatter?
Yeah, it's like a nuclear. It's like a fusion. Weapon which is triggered by antimatter.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's like a nuclear bomb that doesn't use fission to trigger the fusion reaction.
It sounds like a vacuum bomb or something.
Could be, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to look into it. But yeah, wow. Would you look at that? Where has the time gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a great an hour and a bit, but that's pretty much what we've got for the show. I get it. I know everything has slowed down to a crawl, like our lives, like the news, like everything else. But yeah, again, what do we do? You listen to this show, and at least you keep yourself sane during quarantine. That's what you do. So, apart from all that, anybody would like to wrap up for the week?
Orion?
Yeah, it was a good show. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I may pop on here again.
All right. Noble?
It was fun to participate again.
Mhm.
Oh, good. Nice having you
Right.
back. And
Great
Helen?
being back, to be honest.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
course.
this was fun. This was fun. I enjoy these shows. I should really come on more often.
Hmm.
These are real fun.
No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks for
that's
having me.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
welcome, of course. Well, I hope everyone had a super fun, awesome time listening to our rambles. Hope you all are staying safe, and we shall see you next week.
Absolutely. And as always, like just in case we get out of YouTube or whatsoever, our shows are always available on our Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and we can always move to another service. So you know what? We are not dead from the digital space, and you'll still have to listen to us in one form or another. This is us signing out for the week. Farewell, and until next time. Hope you enjoy.
Bye.